Straight ahead on 12 News, a charity program now off target. What Osseo and other school districts will soon be missing to help fund education initiatives. Plus, what physical therapists call a big public health concern.
The older people get, they're just more at risk.
But first, a warning for people planning to do a deck staining project this fall.
It's led to house fires, garage fires.
12 News starts right now.
We'll get to those stories in a moment, but first we start with a police incident that led to arrests at Cooper High School.
New Hope Police and Cooper High School officials say a fight today left 1 juvenile injured and 3 in custody. It happened on the southeast corner of school grounds as classes let out and buses were loading with students.
One sustained an injury to an arm, possibly there was talk of a knife. We're still establishing what caused the injury, if there was a knife or a weapon involved.
Captain Scott Slauson says they are still sorting out how many juveniles were involved, if any of the students are, or if any of the people are students at Cooper, and what else led to the altercation. Well, if you are planning on staining your deck this fall, Hennepin County officials have a warning for you.
In the past 3 months, they've seen almost a dozen fires caused by oily rags thrown in the garbage cans. Cassie Bonstrom has more on what you can do to keep your home fire-free.
It's not too hot out and not yet snowing, meaning for many homeowners, it's the perfect season for staining projects.
This is the first time I've used stain in a long time.
Robbinsdale Mayor Regan Murphy is in the middle of staining his outdoor pergola.
Watch football out here, whatever.
His family's outdoor oasis.
I mean, we eat out here just about every meal.
He wants it to be a quick, easy job.
Get it in there and get it on.
And fire officials say it can be if you properly dispose of the rags once you're finished.
It really doesn't need an ignition source.
Fire investigator Dave Gustafson says his team has seen almost a dozen fires this summer caused by rags used for staining.
And the problem we're running into is that the rags don't get disposed of properly, and they end up getting thrown in the trash can, and they start to heat up and spontaneously combust.
It occurs when the stain chemicals begin to oxidize, producing heat. Left unattended, it can spark a fire.
It's led to house fires, garage fires, and we've had several of them through the summer months here. We've probably had 8 to 10 in the metro area just from Memorial Day on.
To prevent a fire, officials recommend taking the wet rag and putting it flat in the metal bucket. If you don't have a bucket, lay it flat on a concrete surface. It's advice Mayor Murphy didn't take on Saturday when he started his project.
They're not too bad.
But just to be safe, he will now.
So I'm going to dry these out per your recommendation.
Very good.
So my garage doesn't burn down.
In Robbinsdale, I'm Cassie Bonstrom, 12 News.
The vice president of a Golden Valley property management company has pleaded guilty to an embezzlement scheme that totaled more than $1 million. Stephanie Castillo pleaded guilty to 8 counts of theft by swindle. She was accused of creating fake invoices and forging signatures on company checks. The thefts lasted several years, and the Hennepin County Attorney's Office called it the largest embezzlement case they had ever prosecuted. Castillo told police she stole the money to feed a shopping addiction and help her husband start a business. Prosecutors will seek a more than 6-year prison sentence, which is higher than state sentencing guidelines.
In a rather unusual court case in Hennepin County, a Golden Valley woman is arguing that she should be allowed to smoke marijuana for religious reasons. 31-year-old Ashley Fernschild says she belongs to the First Church of Cannabis, which was established this year in Indiana. Fernschild allegedly violated the terms of her probation by smoking pot. Hennepin County Attorney Mike Freeman says possessing and smoking marijuana is not a First Amendment right.
Some homeowners in Golden Valley and Plymouth could pay slightly more in property taxes to fund some environmental projects. The Minnehaha Creek Watershed District Board gave a preliminary approval on a 5% levy increase.
Gleason Lake in Plymouth is one of the water bodies in our district.
Some of the tax money will be used to keep Gleason Lake clean. Overall, the board gave a preliminary thumbs up on an $8.7 million levy. They say the money is needed to continue restoration work on Minnehaha Creek. Funds will also be used to cut down on invasive species.
So this 5% increase in the levy will result in about $1.60 per year increase in the levy on an owner of a $300,000 home in the district.
This is the largest levy hike in 9 years. A final vote will be held on December 17th.
A popular school fundraising program will come to an end at the end of the school year. This week, Target started notifying schools that they will discontinue the Take Charge of Education program, which donated money to schools. Reporter Shannon Sladden explains how that money will be missed at one school.
Earlier this week at Rice Lake Elementary School in Maple Grove, Principal Mark French got a surprising phone call.
My reaction was, oh no, this has been such a great program. We have benefited greatly.
A Target representative let French know that the Take Care of Education program, where Target donated 1% of Red Card holders' purchase total to the school of their choice, would be discontinued at the end of the school year.
It's a great and easy thing to do. Many people already shop at Target.
French says they promoted the program and it yielded $4,500 to the school last year.
We enhance a lot of things at Rice Lake.
The school used the money for staff development, teacher materials, and field trips.
I'm fortunate in that perspective that I have another resource, our very strong active PTO to go to.
This education area actually has gotten a lot more attention all over the country.
John Pratt with the Minnesota Council of Nonprofits says it's not unusual for a corporation to shift a charitable focus.
If you look at it over the last 15 years that they've had this program, this has really helped put a spotlight on education and school funding. And I think it's not only their own funding has been valuable, but it's helped to attract attention and other funding.
He doesn't expect that spotlight on school funding to diminish, but to shift. As the school year gets underway at Rice Lake, the PTO will be shifting focus as well.
So they are thinking about how they're transitioning and how they will support schools through this change. And we'll be doing that this year too, thinking about how do we do the same things in a different way.
The Osseo School District received more than $38,000 from this program last year. They will receive money from this program for this upcoming school year, and then next summer they will receive a final grant to help with the 2016-2017 school year. Alexandra and Delane, back to you.
All right, thanks, Shannon. Making art a career isn't easy, but a new workshop aims to give artists the tools to do it.
And that's what we're going to think about tonight, is how to start taking those dreams and putting some of them down on paper and then making some of the action steps towards making them reality.
A free 10-session course at the Maple Grove Library helps artists career plan, think about business skills, marketing, and networking. It's led by an organization called Springboard for the Arts, which is staffed by practicing artists.
We also are really interested in helping them figure out a variety of different career options, so and all different arts, so whether it's visual or theatrical or musical or literary arts, all of the arts are incorporated.
The free Monday night course runs through November 16th. You can register through the library's website.
Well, shake it now, baby, now.
Downtown Robbinsdale shook things up Monday night for the annual Main Street meet and greet. Several blocks of West Broadway were closed off so the public could enjoy some local food, entertainment, and get a chance to meet other residents and sample some of the local businesses. The Robbinsdale Chamber of Commerce sponsors the event, and it grows a little larger each year.
Oh, it's fun, and I get to see all these different people, the vendors they have or so on. I look forward to coming every year.
Coming up, as we age, so does the likelihood of falls. Next in Health Check, tips to help maintain our balance.
Then later in sports, they have a lot of new faces in the lineup, but the success continues for the Maple Grove boys soccer team.
But first, temperatures stay in the 80s on Wednesday. Welcome back. Experts say a third of all adults age 65 and older suffer a fall every year.
A bad fall can result in a fractured hip, a head injury that causes neurological issues, or even death. In today's Health Check, we look at the efforts being made to teach people how to lower their risk of falling.
And I see a lot of people coming into the emergency room who have had a fall at home.
At Abbott Northwestern Hospital in Minneapolis, the emergency department sees its fair share of injuries related to falls.
Probably 4 or 5 times a week we're down in the emergency room seeing patients who had a fall but maybe didn't hurt themselves bad enough to get admitted.
Chris Wellner is a physical therapist at Abbott Northwestern's Courage Kenny Rehabilitation Institute. She calls falls among elderly people a big public health concern.
The older people get, they're just more at risk. We just have more people here living into their 80s and 90s, and it's only going to get worse as our population ages. The first test is going to see how many times you can stand from that chair in 30 seconds.
To help alleviate that problem, Courage Kenny is offering free fall risk assessments the week of September 20th at its various locations.
And cross your arms in front of your body.
To demonstrate, she put this hospital volunteer through a similar screening. One test checks to see if he can stand without using his arms.
Stand with your feet in the modified tandem.
And the other looks at his balance.
And go. So really just putting his feet in more challenging positions where we have to use those muscles that we rely on to keep our balance more.
It's an assessment she says all seniors age 65 and older should go through. But she urges everyone, regardless of age, to exercise as a way to limit their risk of falling.
Really doing activity and standing that involves strengthening and balance is the best thing you can do.
A simple piece of advice to help keep people out of the emergency room.
Balance is something that we always have to practice.
Courage Kenny's free fall risk assessments will take place next week as part of National Rehabilitation Awareness Week. For a full list of times and locations, you can go to our website at 12.tv. Well, coming up, proof that learning never ends no matter your age.
But first in sports, the Park Center boys soccer team is off to a fast start this season. John Jacobson has that and more when we come back.
It's so far so good for several local boys soccer teams this fall. Park Center is off to a great start. And as Jay Wilcox reports, the Pirates are eager to show they have staying power.
Park Center is hitting on all cylinders this fall. The Pirates are 6-1 and have entered the top 10 rankings. While the guys were confident about the season, it's been perhaps even better than expected.
I mean, I anticipated that we wouldn't be weak. Last year we lost a few seniors graduated, so I wasn't expecting anything too big, but a lot of new guys that I didn't know before came on the team.
There's a couple guys that we didn't really even know existed before we started trainings this summer and then tryouts. So with the addition of those guys and the guys that we knew were coming back, we figured we'd have a decent team. We just didn't realize exactly how good they would be. I mean, we had strong aspirations, which we do every year.
The one loss for PC was to then #1 Minnehaha. It's a game they can learn from.
We give them the space, we allow them to play their game. And, you know, we sat back a little, but, like, when the game started when we actually started playing the game, we figured out, like, we could actually take them and stuff. But, you know, the time we took off to, like, just let them play the game, they utilized that time to score against us. So we definitely learned from the game is no matter who we play, just play our game and try to defeat them. So.
While the record and ranking are nice, Park Center's coaches and captains are sending the message, don't be satisfied.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It doesn't mean anything if we don't do anything at the end of the year, though.
Nobody's like, oh, you know, we're ranked now, it's over. Everybody's like, oh, we're ranked. I want to get better. I want to be in that starting lineup. I want to be #1. So that's the mindset we're going in with every game.
We'll see if Park Center's fast start will be a season-long trend. Jay Wilcox, 12 Sports.
After a home-heavy start to the schedule, the Pirates are on the road for the next 4 games, including at Spring Lake Park Thursday and at Mounds View Saturday. The Maple Grove boys are off to a superb start, too. They're also hoping it's a sign of things to come. Maple Grove has had a strong recent history, but it's a very new team this fall. The Crimson was undefeated until the state semifinals last season, but lost 15 seniors to graduation. So the sizzling start is a surprise, at least to some.
Yeah, a lot of people over the summer have been asking me, like, oh, it's all new kids. You guys will do good this year? I've always thought we've had a lot of young talents, a lot of help from the freshmen and sophomores this year. Got some good seniors, defenders that have been helping a lot. It's just all coming together nicely.
We are very pumped, yes. We have been playing very well. Last year we had a great team. They were great guys, and we have been learning a lot from them this year. And they have been helping us a lot throughout this year. They've been supporting the team. And our teams this year has been playing very well together, and we've been starting off strong.
Maple Grove is 5-1 so far, allowing just 5 goals total. They also have some scoring punch. Junior Ryan DeBoy had 9 goals in 3 games last week. They know the hardest part of the schedule is still ahead.
See some difficult tests later in our schedule. There's a couple teams that we've played so far that are kind of in the same position as we were, that they graduated a lot of people. So yeah, we've got good teams like Osseo coming up, Park Center coming up, and plenty of others within the conference that are going to be real good tests to get us ready for October.
Maple Grove has just 1 game this week. It's at Champlin Park Thursday night. Let's look at the state soccer polls for Class AA boys. North St. Paul is #1 this week in the Class AA rankings. Minnehaha is second with Mounds View, Edina, and Stillwater rounding out the top 5. 3 local teams are in the next 5. Maple Grove is rated 6th, Park Center 8th, and Wayzata 9th. Wayzata is ranked #5 this week in the Class AA girls poll, the only local team in the top 10. Champlin Park lost its first 2 volleyball matches of the season over the weekend. The Rebels have arguably the state's best prep player in Sydney Hilley. She's featured this week on Channel 12 Sports Jam show. Here's a clip from that story. Hilley was a key player last season who helped Champlin Park reach the state volleyball tournament for the first time in 13 years.
Hilley attacks and pounds it home.
The Rebels finished 5th at state and are eyeing another trip in November.
We definitely want to go back there, but we're taking it game by game. This year the section got a little harder and our conference is still going to be hard, so anything can happen on any night. We have to be ready to go.
Last month, Sydney was the lone Minnesotan on the United States under-18 team that competed at the Youth Volleyball World Championships in Lima, Peru. You can catch the rest of the Sydney Hilley story and much more on this week's Sports Jam. It airs through Wednesday at 3:30, 6:30, and 9:30 p.m. on Channel 12 and 12.tv. That's a look at sports for today.
All right, thanks a lot, John. Still ahead, what an Osseo school district teacher calls the best job she's ever had.
And we'll be right back. Finally, a teacher who's made a big difference in the lives of students, adult students that is.
Year-Ibby Gilmore has been named the 2015 Minnesota Adult Basic Education Teacher of the Year. Year-Ibby teaches many immigrant and refugee students in the Osseo School District, teaching math skills. She says many of her students are extremely grateful for the education and calls her job teaching adult learners the best job I ever had. And listen to this, the oldest student Year-Ibby has taught was 83 years old. So talk about lifelong learning. That's exactly right. That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Community Corner is up next.